Holy f***. Hi everybody, Anthony here from Awesome Anthony Productions, and today I'm going to give you my review of a French horror film that almost flew under my radar, Infested. But before we get started, you know exactly what to do at the end of the video. If I've earned it, please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. Now let's get into it. A creature feature that seemed to jump up in popularity after the release of the similarly premised Sting, Infested is another f***ing spider movie.
No! Hell no!
And if you saw my review of Sting, you know how I feel about spiders. But where Sting was a campy B-movie creature feature with a modern filmmaking twist, Infested plays this kind of premise completely straight to terrifying results. Directed by Sebastian Vanacek, Infested revolves around Caleb, played by Theo Christine, who lives with his sister Manon, played by Lisa Nyarko, in a rundown French apartment building. Caleb is pretty depressed. He's almost 30, he's got really nothing going on in his life, and he's stuck living in that shitty apartment with his sister when they really can't stand each other.
I hate you.
I hate you too.
Plus the fact that he is completely estranged from his best friend Jordy, played by Finnegan Oldfield. He also makes a living selling black market items, mostly sneakers, but also has a dream of one day opening up a reptile sanctuary to the point where his room is full of different reptiles and insects. So when he goes to get more items and ends up being introduced to a particularly large, super venomous spider, he decides to buy that, take it home, and name it Rihanna.
Because I love Rihanna.
But unfortunately for Caleb, Manon, and the rest of their friends and neighbors that live in their building, it doesn't take long at all for Rihanna to escape and start laying eggs everywhere, which all hatch, releasing an army of incredibly venomous spiders that all grow super fast and super large.
Nope.
Pretty soon this building is full of those bastards, with webs all over the place and neighbors starting to drop like flies. Now it's up to Caleb, Manon, and their friends to fight their way out of this spider-infested hellhole. If you're an arachnophobe, like myself, this movie's gonna scare the hell out of you. But if you're not an arachnophobe, you may squirm in your seat a bit, but I don't think this movie will scare you all that much. But no matter how you feel about spiders, I challenge you to watch this movie and not squirm the first time you see about 50 little spider babies crawling up somebody's arm. And that is where this movie really excels. It's not going to give you a bunch of jump scares, buckets of blood and gore, or tell a story loaded with politics and metaphors. Even though the characters living in what basically amounts to the abandoned projects in France does give a bit of a message and subtext to work with. No, Vanacek is much more interested in getting the audience to squirm in their seats. And man, does this movie pull it off, and pull it off well. Some spiders are real and some are created with VFX, but they all look real and convincing almost every time they're on screen. And the reactions of the actors whenever dealing with them feel 100% authentic and add so much to the fear factor here. No pun intended.
You guys are gonna have to eat these African cave-dwelling spiders.
The entire cast is pretty good here too, but Theo Christine and Lisa Nyarko's Caleb and Manon are fantastic. I will say though that I wasn't the biggest fan of these characters within the first 20 or 30 minutes of the movie. They were kind of just annoying the shit out of me. During that time, they did nothing but argue and yell at each other, talking super fast in French, and it felt like in the beginning it just kept going on and on until I had a headache. But the rest of the movie gives the characters a chance to be vulnerable, scared, act on their instincts to save each other, while also injecting some pretty crucial backstory for both of them that really helps go the extra mile to get you to root for them.
Tragic backstory time.
In a movie like this, a creature feature, if they're taking it seriously, you need to have it anchored by good performances. Otherwise, it's just going to come off as goofy. Speaking of strong parts of this film, I already mentioned how great the spiders are, and they really are. I'm an arachnophobe myself, but for some reason it's not too hard for me to deal with spiders on screen. I handled Sting pretty well, and that was about a giant spider, and even I was squirming and looking away a lot in this movie.
Terrifying.
This squirminess and creep factor is also really helped out by the production design. I wasn't able to find any info on the budget, but this seemed like a relatively low-cost movie with mostly unknown actors and only a few locations that the film was shot in. But man, if it doesn't make full use of that budget to make a very believable shithole for these characters to live in.
This place is a shithole.
This also really helps with the feeling of claustrophobia that this movie just piles on top of the feeling of being terrified of these spiders. Scenes where someone's trapped in a bathroom with spiders. A bunch of people are trying to fight their way through a hallway filled with spiders. Or when our characters are attempting to escape a locked parking garage that is filled with spiders. They are framed and cut together in such a way that you just feel overwhelmed and claustrophobic, putting you right in the shoes of these characters that have seemingly no way to escape. The spiders, the claustrophobia, the production design, the suspense, the great cast and their authentic reactions to the horror that they're witnessing, everything comes together brilliantly here. And aside from me not really really gelling with the leads in the first half hour of the film, I really don't have any complaints here. And I think it's one of the best horror movies of 2024 so far. And that's my review of Infested. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this review, you know what to do. I said it in the beginning. Please leave a like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. While you're at it, you can scroll down in the description, find the links to my social media. Leave a comment, let me know if you saw this movie and what you thought. It's on Shudder already, so if you want to check it out, it's pretty easy to. And of course, if you want more of my content, you can click or tap on these cards right here. It'll take you to my review of The Fall Guy, or just over to my channel where you can check out my reviews, my shorts, and my old shit. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next week for my review of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.